Hey everyone, welcome back to the show. Today we are diving into a really high stakes legal and economic story about President Trump and Federal Reserve Governor Lisa Cook and how this case could affect the US financial system.
Yeah, it's quite something, right? So a judge has temporarily blocked President Trump from removing Governor Cook over allegations of mortgage fraud, letting her stay in her role while the legal challenge plays out.
Wait, so she can still vote on interest rate decisions like at that Fed meeting coming up in mid-September, right?
Exactly. She is expected to attend the Fed policy meeting on September 16 and 17, which is really important because the Fed could decide whether to lower interest rates, and her vote matters.
Wow, so what did the judge actually say? Like, why is Trump blocked from firing her?
So Judge Giacob concluded that the allegations of mortgage misconduct probably didn't meet the for-cause requirement under the Federal Reserve Act, and also that the way she was dismissed may have violated her due process rights under the Constitution.
For cause, okay? Can you break that down? Like, what does that mean in this context?
Sure, the for-cause provision basically limits when a Fed governor can be removed. It has to be related to their behavior in office, like whether they are performing their statutory duties faithfully and effectively, so vague or unsubstantiated allegations don't qualify.
Ah, okay, that makes sense. So the judge is really emphasizing Fed independence, right?
Exactly. And Cook's lawyer, Abby Lowell, even said this decision reaffirms the Fed's independence from political interference because allowing removal based on unclear claims could endanger financial stability and the rule of law.
So what about the allegations themselves? What were they about?
Trump claimed she committed mortgage fraud, allegedly listing homes in Michigan and Georgia as primary residences in 2021 to get better loan terms. And later there was a claim about a third mortgage in Massachusetts. But Cook's team insists she never committed fraud and any errors were unintentional, like clerical mistakes.
Okay, so her lawyers are saying this is politically motivated, right?
Yeah, they argue that Trump's move is part of a broader attempt to influence the Fed, especially because he has been pushing for lower interest rates and had even considered challenging Fed Chair Jerome Powell over rate decisions.
Interesting. So how is the Justice Department involved here?
Well, the Justice Department is expected to appeal the ruling, and they have opened a criminal probe into whether Cook committed mortgage fraud. But the judge denied their request to pause the ruling, so this is moving up to higher courts.
So this could ultimately go to the Supreme Court, right?
Exactly. The Supreme Court could have the final say, and that's why this case is so closely watched, because it touches on both legal limits of presidential power and the independence of the Federal Reserve.
And why is Fed independence so important? Like, what are the real world consequences?
Well, the Fed needs to make decisions based on economic data and long-term stability, not political pressure. Otherwise, the banking system and overall economy could be destabilized, which affects everything from interest rates on mortgages to the stock market.
That makes sense. So this case isn't just about one person, it's about setting a precedent, right?
Absolutely. It could influence future interactions between the White House and the Fed, and also how far a president can go in trying to remove members of independent financial institutions.
So what about the public? Do they get any say, or is it all behind closed doors?
Mostly it's legal proceedings, but the court did consider public interest, noting that Fed independence benefits everyone, so the ruling balances individual legal rights with wider economic implications.
Right, so going forward, what should we expect? Like, what are the next steps?
The administration can appeal immediately, and the Justice Department is likely to move quickly, so this could end up in higher courts soon. But for now, Cook remains in her position and can participate in critical Fed decisions.
And politically, this is a pretty big deal too, right? Because it shows limits on presidential power.
Yes, it underscores that even the president cannot remove Fed officials without meeting strict legal standards. And it reinforces the idea that the Fed must operate independently of short-term political considerations.
So if Cook is reinstated and serves, it could influence interest rates and economic policy directly.
Exactly. Her participation in Fed meetings could shape monetary policy, affecting borrowing costs, inflation, and overall economic growth, which is why this legal fight has such broad implications.
Wow, it's really a fascinating intersection of law, politics, and economics, right?
Absolutely, and it highlights how legal decisions can ripple across the financial system and why understanding these cases is so important for everyone, not just policymakers.
So, wrapping up, what are the key takeaways from this story?
First, the Fed's independence is being legally reinforced. Second, presidential power to remove officials is limited. Third, legal and political maneuvers can have real economic impacts. And finally, Cook remains in her position for now, influencing critical policy decisions.
Thanks. That really helps clarify the whole situation. And I guess we all have to watch closely how this unfolds in court and at the Fed meetings coming up.
Definitely. It's a story that mixes law, economics, and politics in a way that affects the entire country. So staying informed is key.